what it also helps is it helps with defense, because Marciano's more defensive and has more defensive capabilities than a lot of people realize. Hey everyone, Coach Keith Kepner here. Pumped for today's fight study. Going to do a great classic. Rocky Marciano versus Archie Moore back in 1955. Big thanks to Legends of Boxing in Color YouTube channel for putting this up and putting up the best quality video of the full fight. Rocky Marciano, obviously the only undefeated heavyweight champion in the history of boxing. It's funny how his 49-0 record became synonymous with in and of itself being important, which is not, because many guys have gone beyond 49, right? But what makes it special is it's heavyweight. Now, Rocky Marciano, we can only judge people by their era, right? You can only, this whole thing of trying to judge people by like different eras where things were different, the amount of competitors in the division were different, how big they were, small they were, etc. We can only judge them really by their time. And I mean, I guess according to those metrics for that moment in history in the early 50s, Rocky Marciano was pretty dominant. I don't know of anybody that he dodged. If you guys know of anybody, let me know, because I've never heard it. I've heard of guys that, again, don't be wrong, Sugar Ray Robinson, I believe, is greater than Rocky Marciano. But Sugar Ray Robinson supposedly dodged Charlie Burley, and Tony Zale said he dodged him, but who knows on that one. But, you know, you say Ali, he didn't dodge anybody, fought everybody. Joe Louis, I would say, largely fought everybody. And I would say the same thing for Sugar Ray Robinson, even though people say he avoided Charlie Burley. All right. So anyway, though, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about all the techniques and stuff. And again, guys, this is not for the folklore, for the mystique, for the boxing fantasy novel that some people try to write when they do a fight study. This is talking about things that we can actually pick up from Marciano, besides his toughness and his conditioning and all that stuff, and his heart. Actual technical things which allowed him to beat a good fighter like, a great fighter like Archie Moore. Of course, he has the record for the most knockouts of any pro boxer in the history of boxing, or pro fighter, period. So he's a big puncher. So anyway, without further ado, let's hop into it. This is a fight I've seen many a time. I watched a lot of Rocky Marciano when I boxed, along with Joe Frazier, Mike Tyson, Dwight Muhammad Quayi, Henry Armstrong, a lot of that style. So it's a style I know a lot about, and it's a style that I know we can gain a lot from. And also, Rocky's a lot more standard than you think. All right, so anyway, let's jump into it. Of course, Charlie Goldman was the coach for Marciano, famous for tying his feet together to help him maintain a more togethered stance with his feet, not be so wide. One thing about Marciano, too, I love him kind of just warming up by doing what? Turning the shoulders. Turning the shoulders when he's warming up. Let me just go back to that. I'm sorry. I gotta relish every moment of this, okay? But look at that. Turning the shoulders. Because that's where the power comes from. It doesn't come from swingy stuff, whatever, I don't know, some random stuff that you heard someone on YouTube say. It comes from the rotation. It could also come from falling with punches, yes, but the rotation. That's how you hurt people and be on balance. Now, starting off at the get-go, you know, Moore is not content to move. He wants to try to shut him down, frustrate him a little bit, and also be man-to-man on him. Now, one thing with Marciano, you notice, is that he has the stance where he has a lot of that weight on the back leg. And the reason why that is not so that he can launch off his back leg and produce some massive power or something. I mean, it all helps. It helps. It absolutely helps. Getting so excited, I'm moving my camera here. It helps, but I'll tell you what it also helps. What it also helps is it helps with defense. Because Marciano's more defensive and has more defensive capabilities than a lot of people realize. But I know you realize it. And again, a beautiful practitioner of using the backhand for defense. His backhand does about 80 or more % of his defensive work. And so that slight lean back with the right hand in front allows him to stop a lot of the punches that you have to deal with as a shorter fighter. And then that in combination with him having that concave off to his side, okay, it gets him lower automatically without having to widen his stance or drastically bend his knees. Of course, like you see Archie here tying him up. But it also allows you as well that when you do throw the right hand, I would argue you do have more power with it, and then also brings your head off line when you throw it. And frankly, too, defensively, look at some of the greatest defensive fighters in the history of boxing. They have a little bit more, oftentimes, not all of them, but oftentimes, a little more of this concave stance. It's very classic boxing. You know, that's where, you know, Marciano was special for who he was with his heart and everything else. But you have to understand that the base that Charlie Goldman built with him and that Marciano built before, good step in with the hook there, was a standard boxing base. So he did a jab hook right there. Jab, and because he's shorter, got that 68-inch reach, steps in with the hook, but he didn't get it. And he's back to catching and slipping. One thing, of course, though, is that it's not a lie, it's the truth. That slipping to that rear side can open you up to the right hand, but one thing that diminishes that possibility is if you have a big, powerful right hand, it can make people worried. Now, one thing with that is beautiful. It was either a feint or he almost shot the shot and boom, come back with a left hand shot. It was either a decision that he didn't think the shot was there or that was an actual feint. Of course, you see Archie Moore with just standard defense, standard old school boxing defense, and sometimes his right elbow goes up. Okay? There's nothing, you see many fighters do this exact defense that Archie Moore does. And the only thing special about it is that people have made it special on the internet. And also, again, I don't know how old Archie is here, but he's getting older. So an older guy with less reflexes, yeah, putting your hands up like that, going like that, sometimes is going to be beneficial for you. And I'm going to actually do a whole video talking about the whole cross guard stuff because I have some pretty choice thoughts on it. All right, so let's focus on this fight study here, guys. One thing is you see Marciano get down and kind of like stutter step in. Great setup there because that can create a little bit of panic in a guy, and then therefore you can get your lead hook or, you know, any shot off of that. One thing that you don't need to mimic from Marciano, or you need to watch out for, is a lot more modern fighters nowadays. They do, when you lean at the waist like that, as much as Marciano is, like let's look at that situation right there, right there. A lot of fighters are going to do what? They're going to take that right arm, whatever, extend it out, push down. And that's something that would shut you down if you were trying to do a pure Marciano quote-unquote style. What you want to do is you want to take the foundation from Marciano. You want to take the great rear hand defense. You want to obviously take aspects like conditioning, things like that, but you want to take in what he does technically very well. That was the first round. Kind of my intro as far as talking about Marciano and some general thoughts there. I'm going to spare you all the random stuff that you guys all know that have looked at the history of boxing because that's not really that relevant to this fight. All right. Here comes out Marciano again. And you notice he's okay with stuffing and stepping in and smothering in sometimes without a shot, but you notice where his right hand goes most of the time when he's smothers in, it's up front. There, you put it on the side. You know, watch that rear hand. Something that Marciano doesn't get enough credit for is he'll have his hand ready to catch, and then now, oh, it's not a catch opportunity. It looks like Moore might be coming for the hook. Look what Marciano does. Brings it right to the side. Good basic defense. A lot of use of the hands for defense, which I would say is something that isn't done often enough. Now, that was a great little lead hook because, again, we know with Archie, with his rear hand always typically being up front, he puts it in different places, but he does just kind of default. That's where that left hook lead, which, look at that beautiful left hook. It's very hard with the film to see, but the palm is facing him. Arm is bent. It's a good shot. Comes right around and hurts him. And then see, Archie's open for that shot. You know, right before that, he had his, see, when he picks that right elbow up, it eliminates that. But the one thing I don't like about that is it opens up the liver shot when you pick up that elbow. Now, Marciano goes for that right hand. You guys know what happens here, right? He goes for that right hand, and what does Archie Moore do? He shoulder rolls it. He rolls it, rides it a little bit, maybe pulls out of it just a touch. It's hard to see with the film. Maybe it doesn't actually touch him. And then he comes back with that counter. Boom! Beautiful counter right hand. Because that's one thing to watch out for is you load up big right hands and hang on that side too long, those counters are really, 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 really there for you. So now Marciano, he's hurt. So he's initiating a little bit of the clinch here. And that's where Archie needs to make sure to try to finish the job that he doesn't let the clinch happen. Which, unfortunately for him, he does. Fortunately for Marciano, he's able to shut down and make it out of the round. And that's one thing that I love about these guys, is that Marciano got dropped when he fought Walcott. He got dropped when he fought Archie Moore. So he dealt with, obstacles. He had to deal with stuff that, he wasn't just an invincible guy. That was a great short hook combination there by Marciano here. Boom, boom. Look how short that was. That was beautiful. Because he definitely does get wide sometimes. But again, if you want to be a good fighter, we can all take the highlights of Marciano like looping big shots, right? We can all get those highlights, but that's not what he strived for. He strived for optimization of punches and throwing with his body in rotation. And so there he throws the right there and then comes with that left hook. Film's kind of skipping on me. Tries a real short left hook. But again, that bending the waist will definitely cost you nowadays a lot. And then Archie's tying him up. Good counter again by Archie Moore, right? We got to look at what both guys are doing well. Rock comes with thought about shooting the right hand, didn't shoot the right hand, I think, because he saw the counter. But in those instances, that's where he's got to come back with that quick left so he doesn't linger over there. And also use that rear hand. He uses that rear hand more and more throughout this fight very effectively. And then also as well, so Marciano, he retired for quite a few reasons. Who knows what exactly the complete reasons are, but, he said that his manager, Al Wild, had a crazy contract on him, which he probably did. But also Marciano said his back hurt. Well, why do you think his back hurt? Because he bent at the waist so darn much. It's one thing to utilize it like James Toney did, but it's a little, right? It's a little excessive. He's doing like a good morning, for freaking 15 rounds. One benefit as well that I like is about the kind of concaving is it gives them more just kind of the top of your head. And it's honestly, I find harder for them to land a clean shot. Here the film kind of goofs up a little bit. But harder to land a clean shot when you have that concave off to the side on the head with like a left hook than if someone is kind of, has like a pole between their body, straight up and down. Marciano with the short shots. Working a great right hook to the body. A great right hook to the body. A lot of times you see a lot of these old school fighters, they have a funky right hook to the body. Where the palm is down. Look at that. Great. Make your right hook to the body like that. Marciano is known for power. That's how you throw those shots. Good little short uppercut by Archie Moore. And then left hook. And then the 1-2. And the one thing that Marciano is he does, because of his kind of wideness that he gets with his punches, it does make it easy for someone to tie him up. And so again, against certain boxers, maybe past or present, if you try to mimic this exact style, those are things that I recommend you watching out for. You can mimic certain aspects of the stance. Just maybe don't bend off so deep, but bend off a little bit. Use that rear hand for your defense. Step in as you do defense with the rear hand, but don't lean in so much with the head. And don't get so wide with your arms, reaching out on the inside. Good left hook. And now that was a great example of Marciano's defense. He shoots. Where's his right hand? It's under his jaw. He is ready for Moore's attempt at an uppercut. And that's something that you got to do as a shorter fighter. And Moore gets the left hook off of it. Because you can see Marciano, his weight, look at that. Weight's over the lead foot. We don't want that. We don't want that, okay? And again, it's one of those things like Marciano, great fighter, right? You can be successful and do all this stuff. It can happen. And I'm not going to say, oh, you're garbage and you suck, because you do. I'm not saying Marciano's garbage and sucks. But we want to minimize. We want to optimize. Again, I love that Marciano leaned back. And again, he leaned back there because it gives you more protection right there. When you're working defense as a short guy, I know from experience, this, essentially that type of position is an excellent position. Man, look how small the torso is. There's not much availability. And you sat back a little bit so you could see things more. And he leads with the left hook off of it. Beautiful. You know, a lot of people, oh, you're leaning back like that, you're going to go with the right hand because you're loading up the right hand. No. You throw any shots you want. And with this one, he goes for the left hook. He's trying a lot of times in this fight, catch a straight shot and counter with a left hook. Because, of course, like everyone knows, Rocky Marciano was essentially, I suppose, more of a one-handed fighter with the right hand, the Suzy Q, quote-unquote. But because he's a good fighter, he developed his lead hand. Good fighters develop their lead hand, no matter if the right hand or left hand, doesn't matter. You see, sometimes they'll hesitate on that right hand. Because it's one of those things that the shot takes a long time because they'll loop it a lot of times. Of course, like the shot he knocked out Walcott with was a pretty darn beautiful straight right hand. Nice. Good rotation of the body. And again, Moore's catching the straight shots. Good basic boxing defense. Bringing the right hand to the side. The block hooks, just like Marciano is. There's the block of the hook. And there, Marciano's rolling that head around. It's a good way to think about it. Just roll your head around on the inside. Because now your guy has to kind of, put some thought to where you might be. There is a good example of Marciano leaning to the side, and that is what made that right hand, see that, become available to Archie Moore. Oh, yeah. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. Right hand. One thing, of course, Archie needs to do more of is jab with a little bit of range. I'm not sure exactly what his strategy was going into this fight. And again, another thing great about Marciano, there it is the willingness, like you just saw there earlier, to throw shots wherever somebody is. So right now, Archie's under Marciano's left hand, and Marciano's going to hit right on the borderlines to try to get a shot. Of course, there's that one fight, I can't remember what it is right now, where he kind of hit someone in the back of the head a little bit and knocked him out, and they counted it. So playing right in those borderlines. I see too often with fighters, they will hesitate to shoot a shot that, yes, it's right on the borderlines, but as an athlete, as a competitor, you have to take the chance and play right on the edge. Play every inch of the field. So here he gets that shot there, and then same thing again with that right hand. He misses the left uppercut, comes back with the right hand. Misses the left uppercut, whoop, bam, over the top. Archie thought he was safe. He wasn't. And again, that's also what makes you a good fighter or a great fighter, is you miss a shot, you're on balance to come back with the next shot. Good short hooks again there by Marciano. Again with that short right hand, arcing over, going over the shoulders. Because Moore uses his arms, uses his shoulders, uses his head movement, uses a little bit of foot movement, but not a ton. As I say it, he does it. Oh, good right hands, of course. But of course, this is kind of towards the end of Marciano's career, where he's probably maximally developed, at least compared to the rest of his career, with his left hand, his lead hand. Slips to the lead side, comes back with left hook. Marciano does. Goes right hook for the body, right hook up top. Right here, right hook for the body, right hook up top. Comes back with the left hook. And you see how if you just keep your hands in those positions like Moore is, there's a plenty of workarounds you have. Plenty of ways to work around. Kind of a, oh, there you go. So Moore there, of course. After he's ready for Marciano to come back with a left hand shot. Because one thing you could say about Marciano, see, Marciano shifts over there. Moore's like, okay, I bet a big left hook is coming. That's why he had that hand up there. But one thing you could say, and we'll see it as this fight plays on, is Marciano will get into a little bit of a rookie thing of right, left, because he's focusing on generating power. And I don't care who you are. If you want to generate power, you're going to tend, when you're going for the 100% maximum, to go left, right. That's just, that's just how we're built. But, of course, it's even better if we can double up on a side, which Marciano does at points in this fight. There comes out Marciano again. And he's trying. Ooh, look, he got that left arm out. That's good job there, Marciano. Look, so he got that left arm out. Moore wrapped it. And similar to what I talked about in that holding video, Marciano brings it into the front. And then because now it's in the front, he's able to pull it out. Again, Marciano going with that jab. That's excellent. Jab slip actually right there by Marciano. Right there. Good short shots by Marciano. This is a funky film. It's the best quality film of the full fight, but it has like the funny flickers of exposure. Again, I just love it. I just love it where Marciano, he's going to go in for the attack here. See where that hand is? Glove open in front of the face. It's very easy. I saw this one YouTube video recently. Sorry, not YouTube, Instagram video, where this one coach is building up some momentum and whatnot, but he was trying to say that catching is hard, catching punches is hard. Yes, it's not as easy as running away from a punch, true, or as easy as is to get hit by a punch. But he said because you have to find where it's coming from. Well, no, it's a straight punch, so you know where it's going, and that's all you need to know, right? You know where the goal is. The goal is your face, so just go for that, man. But anyway, side tangent there. Again, what I love, he's bending off hard to the right. You think a big right's coming, left hook. All right, do the same thing as a fighter. Be able to be on your right side. Lead with a left hook. Good short right hand there by Marciano. Don't just slip to your left side to only throw a left hook. Don't do those big setups. I just like that. Short right hand by Marciano. Right. There it goes. Right there. And gets it right. Does he get it over the shoulder? Again, the film is so hard to tell. But again, Moore, the reason he did what he did, he had power, got hit by that right hand, rocked by that right hand. But he also has good defense. Also, too, if you're fighting often, you got to learn all these things that these guys learn. And that's one thing is that I used to, beautiful work here by Marciano, putting his head on different sides, rolling under, and his right hand is employed, meaning it's sometimes down, so sometimes it's unemployed, but when you think it's not working, it's working because it's going to catch a shot, it's going to try to block a shot. There he is rolling under. Again, I recommend you using your legs more because, again, Marciano retired. One of the reasons I think because his back was freaking wore the hell out, and you can tell why, right? But a good slip there and attempt at the right hand. Basic boxing. If you look at Joe Louis, he has that concave stance. It's not so extreme. You look at James Toney, he does stuff like that. Good counter right there. Here. Man, slipped off line with that right hand and caught Moore with his right hand. And that's one thing as well, is remember, gang. So two things. One thing is that when you miss a headshot like Marciano did, that's a good time to have the habit of going for the body. Good one right there. The other habit is just miss and be off balance because, they're probably going to pop back up. And there he pops back up and he almost clips him.
Moore looked like he did a good job of getting that shoulder in the way. And here's a good, oh, look at that. Yeah, Moore using his right shoulder, left shoulder, right? Again, all this nonsense about, the Philly roll or whatever, and the California roll and the maki maki, bunch of sushi. Sounds like sushi names for boxing moves, right? So the next one I'm waiting for is the freaking Philly, I don't know, the California roll. Nice. Oh, good by Moore. Getting a little deflection, but Marciano's getting through. But you see, this is where because Marciano's doing right, left, right, left, right, generally, he just doubled up one hand there, but generally he's going right, left, right, left. That's why those rolls can work so well. So you got someone who's just going right, left, like that. You can just see that roll, right? And see Marciano trying to change up the trajectory of the punch, try to change from hook to an uppercut. But if you're just going left, right, left, right, left, right, that makes the defense easy for your opponent, and we don't want to do that. That's where doubling and tripling up is so great, important, and that's where great fighters like Joey Robinson, known for doubling up, or Joe Louis. You think about when he fought Max Baer, double, triple left hooks, right? Ooh, great right hand there by Marciano. Good again with the left hook. Coming back with the right hand. That was after the bell. I'll tell you one thing, is that, so again, I used to over glorify the older guys, like thinking that they were literally gods or something like that, but they're not. They have flaws just like everybody else. But the one thing I have trouble not saying is that they were crazy tough. And if you think about it, the amount of competitors that I've seen the stats, I can't quote the numbers, but you had like as many registered boxers, pro boxers in the state of New York as you do currently in the entire United States. And so just like the level of competition as far as the amount of men fighting each other was a lot higher. So therefore you're going to get these, I think, a little bit more of the outliers of extreme toughness. Whereas, perhaps these other great athletes and whatnot, guys that have the right mentality to be a winner, they get taken away by a lot of different opportunities in sports nowadays where they can make money. But back in the day, if you played sports and you want to make any money whatsoever, you were going to be a heavyweight fighter. It's a good job of Marciano coming in. Bam, boom. Essentially walking in. And what I love too is he bobs under the hook. So right hand, boom. So after he misses, he's ready to react defensively, right? Just basic stuff. He's watching. He's thinking, right? It's not just uncontrolled. Also, as well, Marciano's work ethic is one of the reasons he's in great shape, right? Because he lost that amateur fight, I guess, as the story goes, and then he vowed that he would never lose another fight off a condition. Good left hook there. And that's a good example of, he's out of position with that left hook, but he still throws it. So he shoots that right hand, comes forward with that rear leg, and then he puts that left hook on him, and it's a good shot. But anyway, tremendous work ethic, tremendous conditioning. But that all means nothing. That all means nothing without one thing: the relaxation. You gotta be relaxed. He could have been in better condition than he is, which, as I say it, I have trouble understanding if that's possible. But he could be in better condition. But if he's not as relaxed as he is, if he's not throwing his power punches with the relaxation that he is, it's using the rotation of his body, then it wouldn't be the same. And that's one thing is, again, Marciano, you could say, is definitely one of the hardest punches in the history of boxing, pound for pound. And look at how he just rotates his body. There's no shifting weight, just turning. Sometimes he'll leap in, sometimes he'll swing in with a shot. But a lot of times he's just turning his body. That's all he's doing. And he's loose and he's snapping, grabbing at the right time. Good left hook again. Think about how many good left hooks there have been by Marciano, where, again, that wasn't his strong suit for a very long time. He worked at that even at a high level. That was a great jab, man. If Marciano would jab more, he'd have even more success. Look at that. Good. And again, that lean back there by Marciano, that allows him, think about it, guys, think about it. That lean back there allows for Marciano to be in the place to do attacks. He's in the neighborhood. He's in your house, and he can attack you. But it's hard to attack him. Versus if you have the opposite scenario where his hips and feet are back and his torso and head are forward, now all the valuables are out there in the way to be taken, to be robbed from him. And yeah, he's stuck there. Versus right now, man, he's inside your house. You don't even know it. And he can use that to then when he's ready to attack, he just brings the weight back to center and can do what he does. Great counter there by Mr. Archie Moore. So again, this is where the trouble is of if you continually, like we talk about, kind of shift weight and almost, like you saw earlier, punching out position, bringing the right foot up, and getting the head over the feet, right? It's not going to get you killed every time, but it makes these things available. And you might not be as freaking crazy tough as Marciano, and that might be the shot that puts you down. But I love those. Marciano comes back with a left hook after that. So that's, again, why a lot of people's coaches tell you, hey, don't lean in with shots. And it doesn't mean, there it is again, with that head going over right there. See that right there in that position? You're a novice boxer, amateur boxer, getting going, pro boxer, I don't care what level you are. Watch out for stuff like that. A lot of short guys, we fall into this. We need to watch out for it consciously. And that's where you need to shadow box through your punches as hard as you can while being on balance without leaning forward or shifting weight for it like this. And it will make you susceptible for those shots. But again, he does the next best thing after that, though. If there is the flaw, fill the hole with something good so he comes back. Good jab. Good jabbing and slipping. Good short right hand again. Again, me boxing some of this style a little bit, I'll tell you, it can wear your back. So I definitely recommend you use a little bit of this, but don't use quite as much as Rocky does. Good shoulder roll there by Mr. Moore. Here comes that right hand. He just, took it on the shoulder. He probably did have his counter shot again. If it doesn't take me too long to back it up. There's a shot hitting the shoulder. Let's see where it goes after that. Archie Moore is getting ready for the big left hook coming back. Because one thing, too, is that even though Archie did get those counters, Marciano came back with the big left hook. And I don't know, man, maybe that de-incentivized the counters a little bit. Man, ooh, great little piece right there. So here, Moore, ready to stop a hook, comes in front because he thought the right was coming or something. Bam. Kind of a left uppercut style shot. Beautiful. And that is where at this level, they're definitely looking. They're seeing when the holes come up. That's where also it's good to be able to, you got, while you're throwing, you're gathering information, you're watching. And I promise you, Marciano's gathering information. And so is Moore. That's why he was getting those counters off that he was getting, but that's also why Marciano is getting some of the shots that he's getting. Something also as well, just talking about power, was that Marciano doesn't rush his punches. And that's one reason why they're powerful. It's easy to think speed is power. And it is in a sense, but it isn't in another sense. Is that you can rush your punches, try to force them too fast, and you're not going to have the power that you want to have. I've noticed I've had my guys sometimes slow down their punches by a quarter, maybe a fifth the speed, and the power picks up a lot. So again, another great, Marciano hesitated on that right hand. Maybe he saw the counter. Okay, so he puts out the jab, hesitates on the right hand, I think because he saw it wasn't going to land. But that's where earlier you saw him kind of hesitate on the right hand, come back with a really beautiful left. If he would have done that, it could interfere with this counter shot that then comes. Boom. Beautiful counter shot by Archie Moore. Good jabbing and catching. I got to highlight the basics, guys. The basics. The basics is what wins fights. Jabbing and catching. Right there. Ready to do it again. There he goes in. Ooh. A little uppercut there by Moore, yeah? Hmm. Hmm. Well, I watched this fight last night again. We've already seen it quite a few times, but man, you always see some new stuff. So here, if my eyes didn't deceive me, we see a great example of a great boxing move by Archie Moore. Because again, it's not just a fight study of Marciano. Archie Moore is a great fighter, one of the top, definitely one of the top light heavyweights in the history of boxing. Look at that, shooting a jab, stopping a right cross as he does it. Good basic boxing stuff that I highly recommend you work on. I mean, at least I know it helped me a lot. Someone crosses over your jab. Sometimes just having the shoulder up enough or whatnot, or having enough length on the jab is not the answer. There's this one pro fighter that I had the fortune of sparring a couple times, the fortunate experience of sparring a couple times, who had 50 pro fights, fought in Madison Square Gardens, fought a lot of known guys, and he was smaller than me. And whenever I would jab, it felt like he would cross me over like this. And so that's where I had to implement this technique. Good stuff by Archie Moore. Ooh, so now, see, beautiful, right? Think about how many times Marciano has thrown the hook. A lot of times. I promise you, it's not. He's doing it for however many freaking rounds we're into this fight, and he's doing it. I'm throwing a lead hook, and then in round whatever the hell we're in, I'm gonna come back with the right hand. It's not that. He just finally did the stuff that you need to do if you're an amateur fighter sooner, or if you're a pro fighter fighting 4 rounds or 6 rounds sooner. Comes back with the right hand, right? After that left hook, come back with that right hand. And then, boom. Because someone opens up wide like that for the left hook, you do have the right hand, even if you take a couple extra milliseconds to shoot it. Beautiful, and that's what puts it down. Think about how many single right hands he shot that did something, but he did that left hook. It didn't land. Came back with a big right after that, and that's what got the knockdown shot of a really hard, clean shot. Put the punches together. Now here's a great example. I love this angle of inside fighting. Real inside fighting. Oh, my gosh. There it is. Channeling some of the, the vibes when my dad and I would be watching these fights. Watch these fights all the time. But if you watch here, okay, so Marciano's going side to side because he's swinging his full body weight, right? Not by changing necessarily his distribution of weight, but just from side to side. So you could argue it's maybe a little bit more on one foot than the other foot, but it's really just it's rotating and bringing the head off line. So anyway, here, where is it? Okay, so here he comes with that big right hand. Marciano does. Okay, so he's got that gigantic, big, powerful right hand with maximum rotation. Doesn't force it to be too fast than it needs to be. After he delivers that right hand, he leaves it out there. If you can see, hard to see, but his right hand now is playing interference for the possible counter. Good things to learn as a shorter guy or as an inside fighter of any height. So it came there for a second. Then he came back with left uppercut. He does that a lot. Boom. Came back again to create interference. Right there. And again, trust me, he's not thinking, I'm going to do this guard or that guard or the X guard or the YZWKQ guard. I'm just getting the hand in the way to catch the shot. Comes back with a jab. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Right here. Boom. Left uppercut. Boom. Here. And then there's a little bit of space. Puts that jab out there. Nice. Right hand over that. Good short uppercut by Marciano. You guys see that? And boop, boop. Good short uppercut. Good overhand style right hand. And see, he's swinging. He is swinging. That's how he makes the power. Nice. And that's the thing is, man, you don't want to lean off against a guy like that. Because you lean off against a guy like that, and, man, he'll just crush you on that side like he just did to Moore. And I recommend practicing that, guys, where what I'll do, what I have done, oh, man, beautiful comeback by Mr. Moore. Let me just pause real quick. What I have done is I think it's like maybe on this YouTube channel somewhere, but yet like a little bag, a little punch bag, a little itsy bitsy, like that big. And I'll hold it at different places. Hold it down and have guys practice doing those shots because, man, I want my guys to hit people wherever they are, right? Wherever they are. Nowhere is safe in that ring, hopefully. And Moore counters back. And if you see Marciano got the right hand in front a couple times, he'll leave it after the big right hand. Leave it so he can snatch it back to defend in front of his face. Not to the side. You know, so many of us are trained, bring that right hand to the side of the face. No, the right hand has multiple jobs it's got to be doing. It's in my opinion, your primary defensive tool. There, he did it there. He did it there. Let me see here. Again, this is the technique, the actual old school boxing. Oh gosh. Beautiful stuff. The old school boxing actual technique. There it is again. He's getting that hand across, and he's just getting it across enough, quick enough. That's all he's doing. Oh, good. Man, beautiful shot to leave it on. And then he's here. You know, now he looks like Gene Fulmer, right? Except the opposite, right? But, you know, he's just getting it in the way to stop the quick counter, right? And he's not overthinking it. Good overhand. See, film gets super overexposed at the time. Boom! Overhand. Matt, that shot came from 12 to 6 almost. Look at that. Right there. People talk about Gennady Golovkin throwing funky shots, man. Mr. Marciano, same deal, right? Almost everything that you see done nowadays that people say is new has been done. Almost. Not all of it, but almost. Such horrible exposure. But anyway, that's that shot coming. To watch it coming from basically 12 to 6. Boom! And that hurts. That hurts a lot. Moore's back up. Again, a tough SOB. You couldn't be in boxing and be at this level and not be tough as nails. And that is, again, the one thing that I will say about sometimes nowadays is because there's just less competitors. It's not to be disparaging to any current fighters. You know, they're all tough. You got to be tough to be in that ring and fight as a pro, no matter how you are, no matter what style you fight. People are too quick to call people names and stuff like that. And typically people that do that never competed or have never actually worked with competitors. Right, but anyway, I would say a good corner would stop this fight nowadays, and perhaps a doctor. So we go back to it and see Moore, man, you know, he's a tough guy. Marciano in there with the head a little bit. And again, misses the big shot, but is ready to come back with the next one. You know, so it's some of these simple things that we all forget about and miss. Good little sidestep there by Moore. Here he shoots the right hand, boom, steps over, right hand again, man. Nice stuff there by Mr. Archie. Back to the jab, Marciano, that's good. But remember, yeah, we want to mimic the stuff that is the foundational things that we can take from fighters, not their own idiosyncratic, nuanced moves that are not applicable to all of us. Because you might spend a lot of time working on it, now it becomes a habit, and now it's not beneficial anymore. Great one, too, of course, by Mr. Moore. Let's watch that again here. Boom, boom. And see, he changed the timing on that. It was a nice quick one, too. Did it again, man. Remember that, guys? It works one time, do it a second time. That right hand again with Marciano leaning over. I tell you, those rights, there's a lot of opportunity for those rights with Marciano's style. Oh, good counters by Moore and turns. Yeah, he said avoid those corners. Left hook, spun with it a little bit. Used his shoulder to deflect the right hand. Boom, bam. Try to come back, but Marciano wasn't there. He didn't have his head in the same place. And Marciano putting the right hand in front. There's the counter by Moore that worked that time. Again, you're over here. You gotta be ready to get that right hand there, or come back with the left hand shot. Decide you back up. Or you could argue to pull out a little bit. Because Marciano does tend to do side to side or kind of lean in. Great combination there. Short right hand. That was an example as well where he hesitated on the right hand and came back with left hand, right hand. So again, think about it. It's like I talked about in that power video, right? Everyone has a code to break them, right? But you got to punch the code. If it's a 2-number code on a door you got to hit, don't punch one number over and over again. Try to punch 1 through 9, all the numbers. And you're like, man, that's it. There's no way I can get in. You got to punch the other number in the code. So with this code for Moore, it is apparently the 3-2 that is the code that can help break him. Oh, see, again, I'm talking about it, guys, the 3-2. And that's where a good corner, in my opinion, can see that oftentimes in a fight, or a good fighter can see it, where the 3-2, for instance, or another combination is there for the taking. It's what's going to work. Beautiful jab and catching there by Marciano. Gets the 3-2. What does he go back to? The jab and catch. Foundational stuff. A little bit of a lean forward. Chin is down. It's hard to tell where his eyes are, but other than that, excellent stuff. Chin is down, which is what we want, but it's hard to tell where his eyes are. Now we're back to this inside hustle. And also as well, you could say, good shoulder use there by Moore. But you could say also because Moore is an older fighter, right? The legs maybe are not quite what they could be or would be or once were perhaps. And so therefore, this is sometimes inevitable with a great in-shape, tough fighter like Marciano. Good, he got that right hand over the top a little bit more. And I think that might be it, man. Moore is beat to hell. He goes out there again, does he? No, they stop it. Yeah. Do they? He goes out there again. Man. Woo! Brutal times. Boxing was a far more brutal sport back then than it is now. And I would say largely to the detriment of every single competitor in the sport. It was more brutal back then. All right, so here, again, another classic example of a beautiful counter. There we go. Nice. By Archie Moore. Very slick fighter. And again, using his right hand to block shots, Moore is, and catch shots, block hooks, and catch straights. There, Marciano arcs over, and Marciano catches. Good classic move that catching the right hand, and he got hit by a shot and tries to get the left hook. It's funny, I didn't see that left hook land at first, but that's a good move. Catching the right hand with your rear hand, coming back with a left hook. I think he does it earlier in the fight and does it successfully. Of course, like we know in amateurs, you can't put your head below the belt line, which Marciano gets close to doing a lot of the time. Good, man. Good, hard left hook by Archie Moore. In the pros, I don't believe there is any rule against it. I've heard refs say stuff recently, but I think it's kind of left over for the amateurs. I would have to go look at the ABC rules again, the Associated Boxing Commissions, but I haven't. I don't recall it. But yeah, great left hook here by Archie Moore. Look at that. Again, good standard hook. And Marciano comes back with the right hand after that hook even nailed him. He tried that basically 12-6 style shot coming all the way from up top, going down with it. So on bends hard at the waist like Moore is doing and Marciano's doing. Try to get that shot. You can get it right for the scoring areas. It's not illegal. Don't do it on top of people's head. Good stuff by Moore there. It's also how you take away those shoulder rolls, right? Obviously, we all know that. But yeah, one ticket as well is doubling up on someone like Moore because, like I said earlier, you go right, left, right. You play right into his game of just rolling with the punches. A little accidental butt right there. Good example of the left, right? And then Moore does a real tight, nice explosion down the middle of it, man. But Rocky, he has his constant pressure. That head going in there a little too much. Good job arcing over with that right hand again. Can't tell if he was ready for the counter. Coming up with the right uppercut and the left hook. That was, let's see how that plays out because it's hard to see in the film. Yep. Caught it. Beautiful. It's so hard to see with these darn films, right? But thank you so much, Classic or Legends of Boxing in Color, for uploading this. But, there Marciano is, again, beautifully defending a right hand counter shot. Come on. With that rear hand, while he's working the rear hand a lot. Here, he threw his right hook to the body, gets it over there, and I think stops that. That right uppercut comes back with a left hook. It's a beautiful sequence right there. Let's go back one more second here and watch that again. Boom, bam, boom. That's beautiful. Does the right hook for the body. Right hook for the body. Gets the right hand in front. Left hook. Nice. Tries left uppercut after that. He's coming in the whole time. Arcing over with that right hand. 1-2. Again, something we all have to remind ourselves, or I have to remind my guys about it sometimes too, is the 1-2, man. There's a reason why the 1-2 is foundational and so darn basic. But the second you stop respecting the basics is the moment you stop. You start really getting destroyed. Is that over the jab? Left hook. Maybe he had his arm extended, but comes right over the right, over the right hand, and that's it. What a tough guy Archie Moore is or was. Great fight, and that is the end of the dang fight, ain't it? Okay, yeah. Great fight. So yeah, that wraps up that fight study. I hope there were some things with Marciano that maybe you hadn't noticed before. Or again, like I talked about, maybe things you're reminded of. I'm happy to serve my purpose of just being a reminder. Because I know there's a lot of people that watch this YouTube channel that enjoy my content that have been boxing for decades and, or been coaching for decades. And we all benefit from each other and this great, positive, and awesome community that you've helped create and build. So really appreciate you. Yeah, please put your comments below, thoughts and everything else. And again, to be ultra clear with these fight studies, I hope you understand what I'm saying when I say this, but I don't do these fight studies to be dramatic or to be like fanciful or to be interesting. I don't do it to be interesting outside of the realm of usable stuff in boxing, right? I do my best to make it all formed in a way that you can actually take it to the gym, utilize it, right? And if I don't think you can do that with the information, I ain't going to say it. Or I'm going to do my best if I do say it to really put a whole bunch of qualifiers on that statement. It's like, hey, only in this specific search type of thing, right?
versus universals and all that stuff. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your support. Man, we hit over 10,000 subscribers on this channel. Again, thanks to you. Really appreciate it. Cheers to the next 10,000 and then the next after that. All right, guys? Appreciate you. See you on the next video.